Well, hi, I'm John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today, modified carnivore for bodybuilders. That's where I'm heading. Okay, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. This is the thing. I had a client recently who has been surviving and living and training on purely 100% carnivore. And for all intents and purposes, he's pretty healthy overall, which is, I've always said this in all of my videos. I've done videos on carnivore. I've done videos on steak and egg diet, Vince Gironda's diet, steak and eggs. And I acknowledge, generally speaking, they end up with some pretty good health markers, especially the A1C. That blood sugar control is awesome with carnivore. And so he, however, was interested in bodybuilding. He's interested in gaining lean muscle mass. And so I had to go ahead and adjust things for him a little bit. He asked my opinion. He trusted me on this one. And we were not talking about finding, we weren't looking for answers. I don't want to trigger all of you right now. We were not looking for the ultimate healthy diet plan. These are things we're not looking for. We're not looking for, what will have him become fat adapted. Wasn't looking for that. Not at all, okay? So what were we trying to do? Get back to the goal. He wanted to increase his lean muscle mass. And no, I didn't go with the carnivore religiosity answer of just increase your fats, increase your protein even more. No, it just wasn't working for him. So he'd already tried all those things. And he was training pretty intensely too. So I went over his training program. I went over his foods. I went over the amount of food he's eating. That's important too. You still have to know how much you're eating. It's about absorption, really, not just what you're putting in your mouth. So how did I adjust things, and how did we get that muscle to move? Well, I added carbs to his diet. I added some simple carbs, meaning some jasmine rice, not just some, but a specific amount. And I did it on his training days. The man trained pretty intensely, and he was training 5 days a week when I got a hold of him, and I cut that down to 3. And in the course of that week when he would be training, so first of all, some of you are going to say, well, he was overtrained, John. I get that, and to a degree he was, I believe. However, adding those carbs on those training days was tremendous to his physique. It did wonders to his workouts. So both of those were an answer that he was looking for. He was actually fearful of adding carbs because, he had this whole thing in his mentality of, he's not going to be fat adapted. He's not going to be absorbing, he's not going to be running on the carnivore diet. Let's change all of that. I don't want to mix metaphors with other diets. So he was just fearful of adding carbs. That's all. And so I took some simple jasmine rice, and I had him cook a specific amount for his size, his lean body mass. I'm just going to give you guys a random number because I don't want to say what the amount was because, you can't adjust that for you. You can adjust it for you. So I went ahead and I gave him, let's say hypothetically, a half a cup dry of jasmine rice. Now, when this man would go to work out, on the workout day itself, specifically surrounding his workout, that is both before and after, this is all I did. I increased his carbohydrates. I actually had him eat carbohydrates only on those 3 days. From a bodybuilding perspective, okay, those workouts were tapping his glycogen levels, and the immediate answer of having some extra blood glucose running around from having some before he worked out and then having the bulk of those carbohydrates after he was done working out assisted his recovery, number 1, filled up his muscles much quicker, number 2, and he looked like a bodybuilder all of a sudden, vascular, and his muscles filled out. So this was an answer for him. This is my answer for modifying a carnivore type plan. I'm not extremely big on doing straight keto, but when it comes to doing a carnivore plan where you're getting in plenty of protein, and this is one of those situations wherein there's plenty of protein, plenty of fats, but the key ingredient that did work in his case was to add that rice on those workout days. Hypoallergenic as well. So this was my answer for a bodybuilder who wanted to gain some more muscle mass. As a result, we're talking about in a mere 6 weeks. He didn't even make it 12 weeks, 15 weeks. I was getting reports back from him on a semi-weekly, every other week basis. 3 reports later, he's up 5 pounds and his waist measurement actually shrank and he actually felt hot. His body temperature had gone up on certain days. Yeah, having those carbs, his metabolism started firing. And so he was recovering from his workouts. He had an answer to help those workouts. Again, I'm not looking to go and, trigger the heck out of everybody with this, having him fall out of fat adaptation, all of that stuff, or for fuel, protein for fuel, but that too, fat or protein. But having those carbs did make a big difference in his workout, and that is how I would adapt or modify a carnivore diet for someone who was interested in bodybuilding and gaining some lean muscle mass. This man was a Masters competitor. That has a lot to do with it as well. I want to point this out to you, that I don't believe in doing such a diet plan. I don't believe in having anybody in their 20s or 30s, on carnivore in the first place. That's just my belief. Having them later on in life as they get in their 40s, 50s, 60s, adjusting toward that carnivore lifestyle, man, I've seen some good results with people. So I do believe that it does apply for them when it comes to their health overall, and then controlling their body fat levels. How about that? So yeah, so that's it pretty much. Age is the big factor in my world. I see the need for cutting down on carbohydrates on non-training days. There's a big statement right there. So as you're getting older, let's jump off of the carnivore for just a moment and just make a general statement. As you're getting older, cutting down on the carbohydrates on non-training days becomes, I believe, way more essential when it comes to controlling your body fat and having better health markers. How do you like that overall? Is it as good as the carnivore health markers? Well, that remains to be seen. But that's it. That's my belief. That's what I've had as a great experience with clients as they were getting older. And even in my own case, eating less carbohydrates on non-training days. As you all know, I'm an omnivore. So I do eat those carbohydrates. I just don't eat them like I used to when I was in my 30s, 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s. I'm 60 now. So I do eat those carbohydrates, but I have them on training days mainly. The demand for them actually goes up in my system, with my system. So that's it for today. From my heart to you, I hope this helps you in your training with your bodybuilding goals in mind. Hit me down below with any comments you have. I love to see them. You all know I read those things, so go ahead. Hit it down below. Let's see what you got to say about it. And for any of you who are interested, I do have a great community, the Hit with Mr. America Heart training community. I'll put a link down below if you all wanted or are interested in joining that as well. Come and join us. Put some comments in on that as well. I do get some exclusive content in that training community as well that you don't see on YouTube. So a lot of training content is in there as well. Important stuff on training. All right. So that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart. Before you go off to my left, you're going to see that disc pop up. That is the subscribe button to my channel. Please give that thing a tap and let the YouTube algorithm know you want to be notified when my new videos pop up. And then down and off to your left or down center, you're going to see a thumbs up button. Please give that thing a tap and turn it blue or black. Just make the algorithm know that you like this video. Share it. Do all of that if you can. That's it. I'll see you all next time.